So, that was an interesting experience. Apparently my Chevrolet Bolt, this one here, was totaled in 2019. And I didn't know anything about it. Welcome to the weirdest staff car update that I've ever done on this channel. It's going to be completely unscripted. And yes, technically, I'm not supposed to be working this week, although we are going to be putting a few videos up between now and the end of the year. But this is so bizarre, I just had to share it with you. For those who don't know, in 2017, we began leasing this 2017 Chevrolet Bolt EV, nicknamed Artemis because she's a redhead. I went to a local Chevrolet dealer, who are no longer a Chevrolet dealer in Portland, they just do Subaru now. And we did a great deal on this car, partly because I was trading in another vehicle, and partly because this car originally, before it even was titled and registered, suffered some front-end damage before it was actually sold to anybody. While it was at the dealership, someone dinged up the front, and so the front of the vehicle had to be repaired. It wasn't marked as a total loss or anything like that, and the vehicle was repaired by the garage and sold to me with a not insignificant discount. I then leased it for 3 years, and back in, would have been July, we made the decision, rather than to hand the car back at the end of the lease, to keep the car and purchase it using a loan from our preferred federal credit union. Fast forward a few weeks, we got a letter from the DMV going, hey, you need to pay us a little bit more money because you haven't paid enough fees, because the car is electric and it costs more to register as an electric vehicle here, because they are trying to recoup some of the taxes that you won't pay because you don't have to pay for gasoline. You don't fuel up with gasoline. That's the way they do it here. It's the way they do it in Washington State. And it's very controversial. A lot of people don't like it. I don't have a problem with it because the fees aren't so insane here in Oregon. And plus I don't have to pay for fuel, so I'm already better off as a result, especially with the solar panels that are coming, fingers crossed. But that's not what I want to talk to you about. Fast forward to, would have been October, November time. So a couple of months after we completed the loan process and our federal credit union took over the financing for the car, we got our registration document, which is what I just put back in the driver glove box. That's the thing that if you are pulled over by the police, you can show them, I am legally allowed to drive this car. This is my registration document. It ties the car to me. Here's my driving license. This proves I am who I say I am. The title for a car in America that is under some kind of loan or has a lien on it, is what they call it over here. The title doesn't come to you. The title goes to the company responsible for the financial thing that you're making use of, whether it be a lease, whether it be a loan. And so the title should have gone by now to the credit union, but it hasn't. And yesterday, late on Saturday, I got a letter from the DMV through the post that says, hey, your vehicle is in need of an extra examination because it's marked as being a total loss vehicle that has been rebuilt. Now, I don't own a total loss Chevrolet Bolt. The only car that I own that was retitled as a salvaged vehicle and put back on the road is the Honda Insight that the camera is currently balanced on top of. So I spent 3.5, nearly 4 hours on the phone this morning. First to my DMV, then to the insurance company, and then back to the DMV again. And then I had the DMV and the insurance company talking together to try and get to the bottom of this. You see, back in April or May 2019, this car was borrowed by a family member who may or may not have had a driving license at the time and may or may not have got themselves into a bit of bother as a consequence. When we got the car back, because thanks to OnStar I knew exactly where it was all the time, when the car was recovered there was a little bit of damage at the rear, so we got that fixed. Now, the damage was very low cost. It didn't impact my insurance premiums. I've been with Progressive Insurance for many, many years. I got the car back and I never thought anything else of it. But it turns out that during that insurance claim, somebody at Progressive erroneously marked the car as a total loss. And when they did that, when they clicked a button, ticked a box, it sent a message to a national vehicle database, and I've forgotten the name of it. I heard them talking about it on the phone, but it's a national database of vehicles in the United States by VIN number, vehicle identification number, that tells you that your car has been involved in an accident or has been declared a total loss by the insurance company. This essentially brands your vehicle as a salvage vehicle or a vehicle that, should it be retitled and put back on the road, needs to undergo a thorough inspection. And that's what the letter was about on Saturday. It said I needed to go to a police station or go to the DMV. I had to prove that any of the parts that were put into the vehicle to repair it, to get it back into roadworthy condition, were the same as the original, or they were of a suitable quality. And in order to do that, I had to show receipts and all of that good stuff to prove that the vehicle was roadworthy. And of course I can't do that because it was never declared a total loss. So I rang up the DMV and the DMV went, yeah, your vehicle is on this database. It's marked as a salvaged vehicle. We cannot issue a title to you or to the lien holder, in this case, my local federal credit union. And we're not going to issue you any more tags when your tags expire until this little flag has been changed. So I rang up my insurance company and Progressive said, no, Governor, we didn't do anything like that. It's not marked as a salvage vehicle. We've never done anything like that. After about an hour, they got back to me and went, yeah, you know, we did. Silly us. We accidentally marked it as a salvage vehicle. Now, here's where it gets kind of crazy. I was on the phone again to the DMV and they said, we can't do anything until that salvage title, that salvage marker disappears off your car. Now, I could go ahead and retitle the car as a salvaged vehicle, but it's not a salvaged vehicle. I could still retitle it as such. And if I were to do that, the value of my car would instantly drop overnight, which is not great when you're still paying off a purchase loan after you decided to buy it. So what I said at that point to the DMV was, hey, can you do anything else about this? And they said, nope, there's no other way. Until that little notification is off the national database, your car is effectively untitleable and it's untaggable. Now, the good thing is my tags don't run out for another couple of months. So I've still got a couple of months wiggle room. So I'm not going to get stopped by the police. I'm not going to have my vehicle impounded. However, what does worry me slightly, and I need to talk to my federal credit union, if the federal credit union gets this vehicle notification, the same one I did, they then may assume that my car was... I applied for the loan erroneously and I said that the vehicle had never been declared a total loss and it wasn't a salvage titled vehicle. I believe when I applied for the loan I had to basically sign an affidavit to say that, because they only provide loans for vehicles that are in good condition, have never been titled as salvage, that are still on their original titles or still in good working order. So I'm waiting for the phone call from the Federal Credit Union, and they would be within their rights to demand that I pay them back immediately, or that I find another loan, or that something else goes on. So I need to go and do that later on today. But what is absolutely maddening is that when I finally got Progressive Insurance and the DMV on the phone together, and the DMV said to Progressive Insurance, hey, you need to, flip this bit to show that the car was marked as a salvaged vehicle or a totaled vehicle erroneously, and apparently there's a way to do that. Progressive turned around and went, yeah, no, we can't do that. We can't access that in our system. We can't do that. We could send you a letter saying, yeah, your vehicle's never been totaled or marked a total loss. It's never been marked as a salvage vehicle. And the DMV turned around and went, yeah, no, that's not good enough. It needs to be off this database or we can't play ball. So now we're left in a really crazy, mind-blowing situation, because on one side, I have a fully functional 2017 Chevrolet Bolt with a couple of years left on the loan that I need to pay back to my credit union so that this vehicle is totally mine. I have no intention of selling this vehicle because it does everything I need it to. The battery is still fine. Yes, it's had that battery update applied to, or downgrade as some of you have called it, so that it reduces the risk of anything going wrong with the battery pack. Obviously the ongoing issue with the Chevrolet battery pack, we've been promised an update sometime this coming year that will solve that. Whether that resolves in a battery replacement or something else, I don't know. But the car itself is functional, it is fine. I don't have any quibbles with it. I had planned on driving this for another 5 or 10 years just to see how many miles I could get out of it on its original battery pack. But at the same point, if the only way I can get tags for this and the only way I can get a title for this is to mark it as a salvage vehicle and instantly lose an insane amount of the vehicle's value, then I don't want it. And I've told Progressive Insurance, if you can't fix this, you're buying my car outright. You're buying all of the loan out. You're giving me the full value of the car that is outstanding on the loan. You're giving me all of that money and I'm walking away, because I'm not willing to be driving around in a car that is erroneously titled just so I can drive it. So there we have it. Progressive assures me they're fixing it. They're working on it. Right now, though, the Progressive rep I've been talking to has said they don't know how to fix this. They don't know if they can, but they're pretty sure it can be done. I've given the DMV and Progressive permission to talk to each other about my case, and hopefully I won't be spending another 3.5 hours trying to fix something that should never have happened in the first place. So, top tip for you, if you've gotten a vehicle, whether it be electric, whether it be something else, and you had an insurance claim and you had a full claim that was paid out to the repair company, then you need to make sure fairly regularly that your insurance company does not mark that vehicle as a total loss, because mistakes happen. We are all human. But if what I've gone through today is any indication, it's going to take an insane amount of time and effort to fix that. Don't worry, Artie. I'm sure you're not going to go and live with someone else. Now, if it does happen though, I've got to try and decide which other vehicle to get. Maybe an ID4. I don't know. I don't want to sell this car. I'm confident that they will fix it. But what a head scratch, eh? Anyway, that's enough from the staff car update. I'm sorry if it's been slightly rambly. I've been not working for the last week, as I promised I wouldn't. We've got a couple of videos that will be going up today. One I'm supposed to be working on right now, which I haven't been able to because I've been spending 3.5 hours, nearly 4 hours on the phone to the insurance company and the DMV. But anyway, cool things are happening next year. We are about to go through the process of applying for a solar panel system. If everything goes according to plan, it's going to be 16 kilowatt peak solar panel system. We are not going to be getting batteries. The reason for that is batteries are incredibly expensive. Like, they add tens of thousands of dollars to the purchase price of a solar panel system. But Oregon has pretty good feed-in tariffs or net metering, whichever you want to call it. And so that means that we'll be able to export power to the grid during the daytime and then buy it back in the evening and pay the difference. If we generate more than we use, we get a check. If we use more than we generate, we'll get money back too. More on that as soon as we've gone through the process. It may not happen, but if it does, it'll be 16 point something kilowatt peak solar panels. It will be going up in the next couple of months. Really excited about that. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Support us using the links below. Thank you again to all the kind people who've sent me well wishes about everything that's going on. I now have a biopsy planned for next week, so I'm not going to be doing a whole lot next week. Hopefully that biopsy will tell us something negative. Statistically, 4/5 of all biopsies turn out to be benign. So fingers crossed, and I'll see you again soon. Keep evolving.